What's up to all my Note 7 owners out there? The few of you that are still left out there. Coming at you again with another video. And it is officially over as of now. Samsung has tried to push out their last update, and I'm sure they've succeeded with a lot, but they didn't succeed with me and many others. So the ball's back in their court, in my opinion. And if you live in the US, there's really not much else they can do. All they have is forced updates. And if you got on board with the disabler apps that were available way back when, my last video I said there was one more that was still working, but you have to download the old version of it. If you got on board and you did that, then your Note 7 is still rocking. If you wanted to come back from 60%, you could by downloading the old firmware. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. We won. Fuck you, Samsung, we won. So I don't know what much else there is you can do. You can keep trying to force an update, but as long as we have these disablers in place, it's like your update's hitting a wall that physically can't break through to our phones. So I'm happy to announce that I'm still at 100%. I never got hit with any update. I never had to go back and factory reset the phone or had to re-download old firmwares. My phone has been exactly what it was since I got the second version, which is the green battery, of course, as I'm sure all my Note 7 people know. 91% green battery. Awesome. Note 7. There you go. Good as can be. Still in very good condition. I don't have any scratches, any damage to it, no scuffs. It's in perfect condition. So, more or less, I said I was going to make a video after the final update hit. For those of you who are just watching for entertainment, they forced these Doomsday 0% battery updates on the 27th, the 5th, and the 8th. I had Sprint, so I was on the 8th. And yesterday was the 8th, today's the 9th. Nothing. Nothing came through. I didn't expect it to come through. I didn't get the 60. Why would I get the 0? They were literally using the same exact method they used for the 60 that they used for the 0. So, I don't think they could do anything other than that. I mean, I'm sure they put all their effort into the 60 as far as finding every single little way they could sneak into the phone, and they probably, bluffed their hand with that. So, they can't really do anything now. I think I'm repeating myself here, but in the US, they cannot shut down your phone with IMEI because it's considered a public utility. In a lot of other countries, Australia, New Zealand, parts of England, Canada, right north of us, they all got hit with not a IMEI block, but some version of an IMEI block. Their phones weren't completely crippled, they just couldn't make calls or text. So one of my buddies, you can still use it for Wi-Fi, at least in Canada, I know that much. So my buddy is able to use Wi-Fi. He has a mobile hotspot on his S7, so he still carries his Note 7 around because he loves the phone so much. He uses it as a tablet, basically. It's not a very big tablet, but it's still a very good tablet if you want to use it as that. But because he has Wi-Fi capabilities on the Note 7, when he puts on his hotspot on his S7, he can do Wi-Fi calling, Wi-Fi messaging. He can do everything the phone was made for. He just can't connect to a network. But in my opinion, if you can connect to Wi-Fi and make calls and text that way, who the hell cares if you're not on a network? Who cares? So, even some of the people who got screwed real hard and got, some form of IMEI block are still out there balling with their phones. So, but I am grateful that I was born in America, and they cannot screw us over like that. So, very grateful about that. Still rocking this phone, still at 100%. I just showed you that. And it's just a great day. like I said, I wasn't nervous about getting the update, but I'm glad that my time for my Doomsday update has come and gone and it hasn't hit me. Therefore, it will never hit me. So I don't know what's coming next. I'm sure it's going to be a few days or even a few weeks until they do something else. I really can't see the carriers cutting service to the phones. If they do, we'll all probably get a text message from our carrier saying, hey, we still see your Note 7's active on our network. We're going to cut you off from service. So it's not something that's going to secretly happen. They're most likely just going to send you a text message. Up until the 8th, Sprint was actually messaging me like every day. Every day. I'll even show this to you. Every day they were messaging me. 1 day left, 2 days left, 3 days left until your phone is, gets this update that won't allow your phone to charge. Well, I texted them back, even though it was a computer. I texted them back and said, bring it. I'm not worried about it. So I'm sure if something else comes down the line, they will continue to notify us, which I think in the US they legally have to notify us before they cut your service. If anyone ever hasn't paid their phone bill, they text you like 2 or 3 times before your service gets cut off. Hey, your bill's due. Hey, we're going to cut your service off. Your service is now scheduled to be shut off. So that's just how it works. Believe it or not, our government got something right. We don't get a lot right, but at least we got the IMEI bullshit right here in the States. Grateful for that. But more or less, this is a celebratory video for all of my people that have been watching me since my first video. I am very grateful. I never thought I would have got as many views as I did. It's been fun doing this. It's been fun being a part of the Rebels. Eventually, it's going to turn into just a Note Rebels page, not Note7 Rebels page. It's going to be a forum for anything Note related. And on that, last report, I said in my last video, I think it was 130,000 of these phones were left. I couldn't find or didn't see any new updates, but I'm sure that number is significantly lower. We had lots of people on the page post and say, oh no, I got hit with the 0% update. If you got hit with that 0% update, as of now, there's no way to restore old firmware back to 100%. It's not possible. They, I guess, thought about that, and when you get the update and it downloads, basically, I'm not a tech expert, but basically they found a way for you not to communicate with the phone when downloading the old firmware. I'm not exactly sure what it's called or how it works, but more or less they blocked any way for you to communicate with the phone when reinstalling firmware. So if you got hit with it and you're watching this, game over. Sorry. You should have had a disabler in place, and if you did and it didn't work correctly, then I'm sorry. That sucks for you, and I wish you luck on the next phone that you own. These recalls with cell phones really don't happen that often, so this was another reason why I wanted to keep the phone, because I felt like this was a kind of a new thing going on. I'm sure there has been recalls in the past, but nothing to this magnitude. We have never seen a company try so hard to get this phone back. Never. I mean, it was all over the media. I think CNN put it as one of their top 50 stories of 2017 was the Note 7 explosions. Even though they weren't explosions, they were just catching on fire. So, good stuff. I'm happy to still have this phone. I'm happy to have successfully essentially blocked and screwed over Samsung on them trying to rip me off, saying, go pick up an S7. No, I don't want an S7. And I said in previous videos, the right thing for Samsung to do is to give us an S7, and then when the S8 or Note 8 comes out, or whatever they call the new Note, give us a discount on it. Hell, don't even... Some people want it for free. And you know what? I'm a Samsung person. I'm somewhat of a loyalist to them, even though they pissed me off with this whole debacle. Give me half off. These phones are roughly, with taxes, this phone was roughly right under $1,000. You give me it for $5. You give me the Note 8, the latest phone that you guys produce for $500. I'd be a happy camper. I'd say, you know what? That makes right for me. Giving me $100, which just barely covers the taxes. Well, it just barely covers the taxes and the time I went and the time I put in to get this phone. I mean, $100 didn't cover anything. And then if I wanted a different phone, like a V20 or a Pixel, even though I didn't want them, if I did want them, you guys were only give me $25. So that didn't even cover taxes or any of my time and effort I put in to go back and forth to the store how many times. I went back to the store more than just twice because I was, when I put in my request for the replacement phone, the store that I went to, for some reason, they were like some of the last to get it. So I got my phone extremely late. If you ever watched my first video, I said in that video, got my replacement phone and 5 days later have to turn it back in. And I was like, no way. I went through too much with this phone to just go ahead and give it back in. Had lots of haters and trolls this whole time. I've enjoyed it. It's been entertaining. Most of the comments I deleted. Some I kept and I wanted to just fight with them just because I found it entertaining and amusing. But this phone ain't exploding. Yeah, right in my eye. Put the battery right in my eye. This phone ain't exploding. I'm not worried about it. I've left this phone on charge for 2 days straight with this external battery charger that I have. 2 days straight. I've left it charging at 100%, didn't unplug it. Nothing happened. I think the third video I made was 5 things I'm doing to stay safe. I'm not even doing them anymore because I'm just so confident that this phone is not one of those phones. And I feel like if it was one of those phones, it most likely would have already happened. If you look at the timeline of when the phone came out and when the explosions happened, there was a small 1 to 3 week window that it happened in. Hasn't happened since. There's been no reports of any more Note 7s going up in smoke, catching fire, exploding, which they don't do. They just catch fire and smoke a whole lot. So I'm fairly confident this phone will be like every other phone I owned. I will just be able to use it however the hell I want. So I'm sorry if I'm showing my phone a lot. In a previous video, someone commented and said, how come you never show your Note 7? Do you even own a Note 7? I don't think you own a Note 7. And I basically said to him, why the hell would I waste my time to make 7 videos about something I didn't own? And they're like, oh, well, you're doing it for the views. I'm doing it for the views. I didn't even register with YouTube to get paid for views. So I'm doing this all for free for my own tutorial for myself and then also for my viewers, my thousands of viewers that I have. So I'm not doing this for anybody but myself and for my viewers. I'm not even getting paid. And with all the views I've gotten, someone told me I probably would have got a couple $100 check. Does it suck not to have it? Yeah, but you know what? I don't care. I'm doing this. So when time rolls on and this becomes a collector's item, whether it's worth $1,000 or $100, I don't care. I'm going to keep this phone. Whenever I get my replacement phone, I'm most likely going to put this in a glass case. I'm going to put a news article next to it, and then I'll be able to say, yep, I was one of the people that was successfully able to keep Samsung from forcing me to give this phone back. So, good stuff. Good stuff. And I'll have the YouTube videos as my own testimonial, to me keeping the phone. So, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I don't have some fancy DSLR camera shooting me. I don't have no fancy graphics flashing all over the screen and pictures and videos. This is just a testimony from me, live, unedited, uncut, me blabbering on. I repeat myself sometimes, which I'm sure my viewers know, but that's what happens when you go live. I know it's not live, but I'm doing it and I'm posting it. I'm not going back and photo editing and editing things in and out or cutting something I messed up on. This is raw, this is real. So that's how I'm doing these videos. That's how I've done them from day one. So other than that, as of now, I don't really have too much else to report. So if you're one of those people that still have it, you're still at 100%, congratulations. As of now, we are winners. And Samsung, you lost. So Stay classy, enjoy the time with the phone, and I will see you on the next video. Peace out.